Hey everyone, it's James, your friendly neighborhood film snob, with another 90-second review, and this week I rewatched Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's sequel to his 2007 remake. A bit of interesting goss behind the scenes on this one. I don't know how familiar you are with it. I don't even know how much of it is true, but apparently Rob Zombie did not want to make a sequel, and the studio was basically like, that's cool, if you don't make a sequel, we will, because we own it. And Rob Zombie didn't like that, so he begrudgingly made a sequel, if this is true. And you can tell. You can tell he didn't want to do it. There's a lot of frustration and hate in these characters. And this is a much maligned film. However, I will say it gets better with age. I recently watched the director's cut maybe a year or so ago, and I found it to be really quite enjoyable. I watched the theatrical cut this time because it's been over a decade since I watched the theatrical cut, and I was shocked how different it was. Just like with the first one, the director's cut and the theatrical cuts are vastly different movies. They're entirely different, and there's only like 10-15 minutes taken out or added, and it completely changes the tone of it. The director's cut, this is a film where characters hate each other. There's a whole subplot about how Annie Brackett and Laurie Strode are not friends. They live under the same roof, but the events of the first film have pushed them apart. In the theatrical cut, that doesn't exist. They're actually quite caring of each other, and I preferred it. Again, this is the second one in a row where I've watched the theatrical and preferred it to the director's cut. I liked that they were warm to each other. There were other things that were removed for the theatrical cut. I can't remember off the top of my head now. Oh, the ending. The ending is vastly different. The big shootout with Michael screaming at the sky, spoilers, is not in the theatrical cut, and I like that better as well. So yeah, I've talked so much about what's different. I haven't talked about the film itself. Look, it is divisive. I do think it's a worthy follow-up. It explores the trauma of these characters following the events of the first one. But it's a lot more heavy on the drama than the scares and the kills. Don't worry, the kills are brutal, but it's just not as, full-on and as horror-driven as the first one. But I think it's a worthy sequel. I think it's an underrated sequel. And whether Rob Zombie wanted to make this or not, whether he deliberately made it a divisive film or not, remains to be seen. I'm here for it. I think it's underrated. I'm talking about it more on the podcast soon, but I dig it.